another round of rain is gone, and yes, another round is on the way, and temperatures will be going up and then down again. And yeah, we're looking at the possibility of a big dip on the way as well. We'll get into all of that. First, I want to talk about the clouds that are impacting our weather this afternoon. You can see that they are slowly but surely making their way to the east, and that will affect our temperatures here. 60s to the west, where things are warming up, and 50s really over to the east, where we're taking a little longer to get rid of this. We're still above normal today, though, and overnight we'll be right around normal, 36, 37 degrees for those lows. So not getting terribly cold tonight, though some of us could be in the mid 30s across those low-lying areas, rural areas. We've talked about that before. Now, we look at the big picture just really quickly. We've got this system that is making its way out. We do still have the cooler air that will take a little bit longer to get through here. We'll see that tonight. Overnight tonight, we of course will be cooling down only into about the mid 30s, but then tomorrow is a little bit cooler. And yeah, Monday we have the next system that's currently sitting off the Pacific Northwest. That will move in, and of course, it will move in through California and into the desert Southwest. And then, as we've seen, they will eject and move on to the northeast, and that will bring showers and thunderstorms to our area. Now, something I do want to talk about, and I've posted about this a little bit, is that there is a risk of some severe weather with this next system. The good news is that has been pushed south. So if you're along the coast, you want to be watching on Monday. But the good news is that for our area, chances are lower. We could still see a stronger storm or two, especially really, I would say, from about Navarro and Hill County southward, mostly south of there, but that's kind of the corridor we're looking at. So realistically, we're probably just talking Navarro County, because it would be east of I-45 and then south of Ellis County there. So I would say from Corsicana on south to the coast really is where we could see the stronger storms. A lot of it really depends on where a warm front goes. So I'll continue to watch that for you. But the good news is we shouldn't have any kind of major storms that day. That will be limited far to our south. Now we need to talk about the polar vortex. We need to talk about the stronger front that is coming in, and on-air meteorologists are starting to talk about it now, so that kind of gives me my cue that I probably should ramp up the messaging as well. Now, there's a guy up in Oklahoma City that posted this morning that this could be the coldest cold front, the strongest cold front that we have seen since February of 2021. Well, you say that in Texas, and you're going to get a lot of people very nervous. I think he's really getting a little bit presumptuous up there. Of course, Oklahoma will be colder than we will be, but regardless, I think he's jumping the gun a little bit. I think he's hyping things up, and you know how we feel about that around here. So this is 9 a.m. this morning. This is where things kind of stood. Again, as I've talked about, you can see that the colder air is still up in Canada, but if you notice where we showed yesterday, the day before, it is already starting to surge a little bit southward. It's almost to Minnesota here. So yeah, the colder air, this sub-zero air up here, is making its way southward. We have seen that split, that distortion in the polar vortex, and that will allow those colder temperatures to come down here. Now, here's the question. How far south will it go? How cold will it get? When will it get here? Well, those things are all very uncertain right now. I'll show you the differences between the two major models that I follow. This is the Euro model 12Z. This is looking 6 a.m. on the 15th here. And this is temperatures in the low 20s. The Euro has a deeper intrusion here and really a colder temperature here, but it looks from what I'm seeing like that's probably the coldest we will get. I'll also say that both models have this being a pretty brief event, so not the 2-week event we had back in 2021. So what we're seeing is the fact that, yeah, we could have a pretty deep intrusion of this cold air. Of course, sub-zero temperatures overnight into the early morning across all the way from Washington on through the heartland up into the Midwest. So very, very cold temperatures there. But as far south as Texas, yeah, I mean, Oklahoma, you're looking at temperatures in the single digits, but really upper teens and 20s per the Euro model on the morning of the 15th. So that is one model. That's one model's thinking. We'll look at another one here. We'll look at the GFS model. This has it arriving closer to the 16th. So this is midnight going into the 16th. So this is several hours later, and really this is before the coldest of the air gets here, but this model doesn't quite have as deep an intrusion. You can see that really it's focused on the Rocky Mountains and farther to the northwest. So that's what the GFS model thinks, and it doesn't really have us getting as cold. Really, this has temperatures only dropping into about, I would say, the mid to upper 20s. And that's not that far away from where we are now. I mean, we are looking at temperatures in our forecast, possibly in the upper 20s to low 30s. So the GFS model, if this happens, it arrives a little bit later and it doesn't get as cold. So again, until we have more consensus from these maps, from these models, we really don't have that great an idea of what to expect. Either way, we do have an impressive Arctic intrusion into the United States, but exactly how that affects North Texas, hey, we gotta wait and see. We gotta wait and see what these models do. And yeah, you know, it's the 5th today. This is 10 days out, so this is still farther away from the 7 days that we usually will plug into the forecast. And then getting even beyond that, the fact that, hey, these can change even in 7 days. So the moral of the story, stay tuned. I'll keep you updated. So let's see what is within our forecast range here. 59, 60 degrees for today. Again, it kind of depends on where you are with that cloud cover. 36 tonight, cooler tomorrow, 53. Overnight tomorrow night, we could have a light freeze in a few places with low 30s. Sunday, we start warming up again, 60 degrees, and we're only down to 43 Sunday night. Monday, we are warmer, but yes, that next storm system comes in, a few thunderstorms possible. Monday night, the cooler air comes in and brings us down to the mid-30s. And then Tuesday is a cold one. And by the way, notice the trend of the winds here, increasing. Sunday, 5 to 15. Monday gets very windy. Tuesday will be blustery. It will be very strong winds that day, very gusty and very cool. 48 degrees. We may not even reach the 50s that day. And then overnight, yeah, it looks like we're probably in the upper 20s for most of us. I would say mid-20s are possible. This is going to be a night to drip the faucets and bring the pets in, bring the plants in, whatever preparations you need to make, because this will be a deeper freeze. Now, this isn't going to be pipe busting and causing these major issues that we've seen before, right? But it's cold enough. You want to take some precautions just to stay safe. We're back to almost 60 degrees by Wednesday, and then, yeah, mid-60s by Thursday. But again, by then, we will be closer to that period of time when we could be seeing this Arctic intrusion coming into the country and have a better idea of how that's going to affect us. So just be ready for a warm-up, a decent chance of storms on Monday, showers, a few thunderstorms, again, a few rumbles of thunder, but the severe weather stays south. And then we warm up again, and as we have seen many times, yeah, when we're warming up, that tends to come right on the heels, or right on the forefront, I guess, of a storm coming in. The good news is the next front looks to be dry. I don't expect to have a lot of storms with that stronger storm. And I have a front here really that should be pushed to later. That's just expressing that we have a front coming sometime off the edge on the horizon of that forecast, not on Thursday. But yeah, we will be warming up ahead of that big intrusion of that cold air. But again, we don't know yet when it will get here, how cold we will be, and how long it will stick around. The good news is, it looks like it will probably not be here very long. That's some of the consensus that is there right now. But how cold will we get, and what time, what day will it get here? We're not sure yet. So stay tuned to South Metro Weather for more updates on that and more.